It's been 5 whole months. Hello, and for those of you who are returning, welcome back to my channel. And for those of you who are new here, my name's Keely and I am vlogging my weight loss journey currently with Mounjaro. So it is now, as I said, it's now been 5 months. So I just wanted to provide a really quick overview of the last 5 months on Mounjaro, how much weight I've lost, how I hit target, and what's next in terms of my journey and my weight loss journey, and what goals do I want to set for myself. So firstly, just getting into it, in terms of weight loss, so I will incorporate my weekly update into this weight loss, into my weekly weight loss into this update as well. So last week, 19 weeks in, I hadn't weighed myself for 2 weeks and I had a huge weight loss, and I lost 9 pounds over the course of 2 weeks, taking my weight loss on Mounjaro in 19 weeks to 72 pounds, and overall 118 pound weight loss since last year. So massive weight loss. Now, as I said, I hadn't actually weighed myself for 2 weeks prior to that, which was a conscious decision. I just actually couldn't be bothered the week before, and I talked about the relief from the scale noise as well, so not being consumed by figures and what is, what have I lost and all of that. So I had this huge 9 pound weight loss, took me down to 12 stone 6. This week I've had a further 3 pound weight loss, which means I am now 12 stone 3, which, as I talked about last week, I've talked about in every video, I've always had a target weight of 13 stone because that felt like an appropriate figure to get to. And I got to 13 stone 1 and recognised that I still had some fat on me. And then I had this 9 pound weight loss and said that I suspected a lot of that was fluid, and I still think that was the case. I'm now 12 stone 3, which is, I believe in total I've lost 8.5 stone. And I don't know what that is in kilograms, but in total I've lost 8.5 stone, and I can still see that there is weight on me to lose. Now, some of that's going to be the fact that I'm older and my body's changed and I've had children, and maybe there's weight in areas that I'm just not naturally going to be able to get rid of, even though I feel a lot slimmer. And according to my scale, so I have 2 sets of scales. I have a digital set of scales, and then I have the smart scales. And my digital scales ran out of battery this week, so I just used my smart scales. And what my smart scales are saying is that my overall body fat percentage is still 33.1%, and that's technically in the obese range. So even though my BMI is now literally just in the overweight, it's just over 26, and 25 to 18.5 I believe is the healthy range on a BMI. So even though my BMI is very, very, very close to being in the healthy range, and I've come all the way from the morbidly obese range, actually my scales are saying in terms of body fat I still have 33.1%, which takes me into the obese range. Now, I'm not going to claim that I fully understand the reading of the scales, because I don't, and I need to sort of understand a bit more about them. But it makes sense to me that I'm still got quite a lot of body weight on me. I can see that I have, and even though I am actively a lot slimmer, I think there'd have to be a significant, I'd either have had to be maybe double the weight that I was, or have a real issue with body dysmorphia not to see that I've lost a lot of weight at 8.5 stone. But I can still see that there's fat there to lose, and so it's not a complete surprise to me that my scales would be saying you've still got quite a lot of weight to lose. I don't think I have quite a lot of weight to lose, and what I would say is I'm now 12 stone 3 pounds, which just within itself blows my mind. But I'm in a size 12 now, and I don't think proportionally in terms of my structure, I'm 5'10". I'm not petite. I'm not big, but I'm not petite. I've got long limbs. I don't think it's gonna, I'm not ever going to be 10 stone, for example. And I do think this could be a bit of a I don't know what the word is, but a bit of a something where I'm just constantly going, right, well, I need to lose more weight. And because I'm still losing weight quite quickly, even though I've smashed now through 2 targets, it's at what point does that stop? And so I think realistically, there is still probably about half. I said last week there was about 8 pounds, about half a stone left to lose. And I think that's probably right, that there probably is about half a stone left to lose. I don't think there's stones and stones. So I've got to work out in terms of, and I know the scales, it's not a DEXA scan, so it's not 100% accurate, or maybe not even 70% accurate, but it is a guide. And as I said, I can see that I've still got weight to lose. So I haven't settled on a new target yet, but given that I'm 12 stone 3 now, realistically maybe 11 stone 10, but then I'm not looking to get much lower than that. And as I said last week, it's more about toning up. So that's the weight loss update for this week. I've lost 3 pounds, taking me in 20 weeks, 5 months, to a 75 pound weight loss on Mounjaro, and overall 121 pound weight loss since last August. So I've lost 8.5 stone in just over a year. And in the last 5 months, nearly 5.5 stone on Mounjaro. So I talked last week about side effects and how my side effects have changed, and some of the side effects that I was anticipating getting when starting my Mounjaro journey, I'm getting now. So the sulfur burps, stomach aches, they're still there. I haven't had any more diarrhea, thankfully. But I feel like I've got an uneasy stomach, and the sulfur burps are a huge part of that. And as I said, it's not, there's not a build up, it's just continuous, and it's really, really unpleasant. And this really odd coating in my mouth, which continues to be there, and just within itself isn't very pleasant. And my taste is really, really off. And I'm absolutely sure that's to do with Mounjaro. I know the sulfur burps are, but my taste's really off. And so that's actually really impacting how much I want to eat. And this coming week, because I only uploaded 1 video last week, I'm going to do a sort of updated what I eat in a week. But it's been a real struggle with food, just because one, I'm not hungry. So that's another update, in that I've got these side effects which are making wanting to eat less, and to some extent quite difficult, because the taste of things is so bizarre. And also with the sulfur burps, they're just really, really unpleasant. So, and I'm sure they're exasperated when I drink water. I seem to have more of them when I drink more water, which is not great either. I've been injecting 7.5 milligrams of, so I'm now on my 3rd 7.5 milligram pen. I haven't started it yet. I'm on my 2nd 7.5 milligram pen. I was injecting every 5 days. I'm not doing that with this new pen, and it's now Sunday. If I was going to inject every 5 days, I would have injected yesterday. I'm not going to do it till tomorrow, because actually I'm finding really intense suppression, to the point that I'm actually considering using this pen and then in 4 weeks going down to 5 milligrams, because my suppression is really, really strong, which combined with these effects is not really making me want to eat at all. And whilst I have been, and I've made a conscious effort to eat meals every day and be consistent with food, it feels like a real chore at the moment. So I'm gonna go back to doing my jab weekly, so every 7 days, maybe more, depending on how hard the suppression is. or how strong the suppression is. And then I'm going to reevaluate where I am at the end when I have to order my next pen. And if it's still as it is, I'm going to go back down to 5 milligrams, even though I didn't find with the second 5 milligram pen I had that much, even though I didn't have that much success. But at this point in my journey, I've now smashed through 2 targets, so 13 stone and then 12 stone 7. I'm not looking to lose loads. I just want to lose the little areas that I've got. I'm not looking to sort of desperately get to a new target. As I said, I think probably about 11 stone 10, but equally I'm not desperate to get into the 11 stone, although it would be interesting because I actually can't remember the last time I was in the 11 stone bracket. So that's what I'm going to do. In terms of exercise, I haven't done any since, well, we're coming into the 2nd or 3rd week of no exercise. Part of that is just because I really, with everything that happened with my really bad week, we lost Bo and there was something else, and I wasn't interested in exercise. And then this week I've managed to damage my knee somehow. I don't know what I've done. I think I might have twisted funny getting out of the car when I was sort of putting weight on it, but my knee's not felt great, so I've just not gone and done any exercise this week. And my steps have probably been on average about 4,000 to 5,000 steps. So I am a little bit worried about what it's going to be like when my knee's feeling more up to it, when I sort of attempt to get back into exercise, because a bit like when I'm not good with food, there is always a knock-on effect in terms of how long it takes me to get back to it. Also, I'm not feeling 100% well either, so it's just, yeah, reevaluating where I am. But, you know, overall, the last 5 months have been a really good learning journey more than anything. Yes, I've lost a huge amount of weight, and that was obviously the goal. That was the only goal I had when I set out to use Mounjaro. There was no, I didn't really think about nutrition or repairing my relationship with myself or repairing my relationship with food. My only goal when I went into it was to lose weight. But actually along the way, I've gained so much more because I've improved my relationship with myself. I focus so much more on nutrition now. When I eat, apart from the occasional things that are a treat and you know that I crave, it's about nutrition. It's about what's good for me, and also what can I do, what can I eat to stave off some of those side effects, so constipation, tiredness, you know, what can I eat in my diet to make up those things. And they're just not things I ever would have considered when I started out on this journey that would be important to me towards the end of it, which is absolutely amazing because I've lost 75. It's just absolutely amazing because I've lost 75 pounds and gained a life and all of these really amazing habits, which mean the next stage, which for me will be around looking at maintenance. So reducing, I think if I do go down to 5 milligram, I'm going to slowly reduce down. So stay on 5 milligram, maybe for 4 to 8 weeks, then go down to 2.5 milligrams and stay on 2.5 milligrams, see how I get on, and then look to maybe start split dosing at 2.5 milligrams. Or I've seen some people online have started to do their injection every fortnight and then they're tapering down to monthly. I think that's probably the route that I'm going to go, and then see where I am in the next 3 months, so sort of coming into Christmas, and obviously that's a test within itself, and the new year, and seeing where I am then in terms of weight and cravings and food voice and hunger, and then looking to come off of Mounjaro and just maintaining these healthy habits and then see how I go. Now that's not to say I do that and I will never use Mounjaro again. It might be that actually I always need a maintenance dose, or there are times when I use Mounjaro if I'm struggling. I've not written anything off as a possibility. I just do like the idea of eventually not having to use Mounjaro because, one, it's expensive, two, I never went into this with the intention of using Mounjaro forever. And 3, I am still somewhat conscious of the longer term side effects if you use any medication long term. So the last 5 months have been incredibly interesting. I've smashed through 2 targets, which I never would have anticipated I would be approaching the 11 stone mark at this point in the year, prior to this journey. And yeah, apart from feeling a bit crappy with some sort of cold and my knee thing, I feel so much better in myself in general, and they're just not things that I considered starting out on this journey. So if you have got any questions, please do leave them in the comments. I might consider doing a Q&A video if anybody wants to see that. Yeah, it's been really, really interesting, and equally along those 5 months I've gained this community, and everyone's been really supportive and wonderful, particularly over the last couple of weeks, and that's, yeah, meant the world. So I hope everyone has a really awesome week, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.